Let's go. Episode 474. I actually need that. I'll get it after. But we're going into the JRE with Duncan Trussell. And Duncan Trussell is about to talk about his favorite conspiracy theory, something called the gifted and talented conspiracy. Now, here's the thing. This ties in to a video that I've recently done on a subject that was talked about in episode 2010 with Laurel Canyon. Some high-level military people had their kids become rock stars. And those rock stars influenced the anti-war movement, turning the anti-war movement into gentlemen who look akin to Jordan Peterson into people who look akin to Post Malone or the dirty hippies, as they used to call them. Very, very interesting. I want you to watch this clip. It's, it ties in pretty well. And I think both have a lot of merit, a lot of truth inside of them. Before that, I just got to bring you to the I Am Coach Colin website and look at the original. I just wanted to showcase the original today. The t-shirt, sold not for sale, the one that started it all. We got black, we got white, we got kid sizes. We have t-shirts for women. We got tank tops. We got tank tops for women. We got hoodies, also in the white and black. We have anti-WEF merch. We're going to have this shirt, Public Enemy #1, with Dr. Evil's face on it. We're going to have that shirt up before midnight. Probably at midnight, we're going to have this shirt up. So we got a lot of new designs coming in. We got the certified pure blood shirt. You should check that out if you're someone who survived the psychological experiment that went on through the past 4 years. We got a lot of stuff. It's all at iamcoachcolin.com. I want you to check it out. And if you do, and if there's something that you want to buy, this is what you do for 10% off. You put in the discount code area, I am Coach Colin. Okay? It's all capital letters. It's all one word. There's one L in the Colin, and it gets you 10% off. That's big purchases, small purchases, anything you want. We even have a sold not for sale mug, just so you know. And if you're somebody who's already went and done all of this, thank you so much. You are so appreciated. Now let's get into this clip. Let's go.
Oh. Now I could be wrong about that, but I can remember specifically.
You guys make the stealth bomber. Tell me what the fuck this is.
Right.
MK Ultra alone. You should go, what? What did you do? You guys set up whorehouses where you dose the Johns and then filmed them through what is it? With see-through
double-sided
mirrors.
glass or whatever.
Yeah.
Double-sided
That's
mirrors.
the government. That's your tax dollars went for that.
Those were the fun
what kind of
days.
valuable research do you get from dosing up some plumber looking to get his dick sucked, and they give the guy a glass of water. It's got fucking acid in it.
God, and you're in the CIA. You know how fun that is? You're in the CIA. You're in the CIA. You have infinite access to LSD. They're just letting you go into brothels and watch people fuck. Wow.
Well, not only that, you're
job.
a puppet master. You're literally giving people crazy, powerful, psychoactive drugs against their will. And you're watching them, and you're learning how to manipulate people's behavior. And that's the Tom O'Neill, the book Chaos. It's all about MK Ultra doing that with Manson, and Manson doing that with his followers.
Do you know the gifted and talented program conspiracy theory? It's connected.
No.
Gate theory. Were you ever in gifted and talented?
No.
It's one of my favorite current conspiracy theories. And admittedly, conspiracy theory. In other words, it's just cool. I don't necessarily believe it. But basically the idea, the GATE program, apparently, and I looked it up, and there does seem to be some connection, was sort of funded by the feds, who it was definitely somehow involved with the government. Basically, now where it goes into conspiracy land, the idea is they wanted to find kids early on who demonstrated certain traits that then they could hire to work in intelligence. And so it's a grooming program for intelligence, basically. And so all these, and again, I just love these things. If they're real or not, it's still cool. So there's all these aspects of people who are in it, like an occipital bulb. Like people who are in it, like if you like, they have this bump on the back of their head, weird marks, like
sort of like when them navigation things or a Sirius XM radio antenna on your roof of your car.
You got a fucking antenna back there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, well,
is that what it's supposed to be?
No, it's yeah, it's
maybe it's an implant. Maybe they give you that implant.
That's where we go with it.
Oh, that's where it goes.
Because
that's a good spot for it.
They would make you drink this weird pink shit. They would like do this hearing
weird
test.
Pink shit.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie, I bet you could find the whole list of like commonalities and people in the program, and it's like interesting. Like the hearing, you would have to do this hearing test before you got in. You would be in a windowless room or a room where the windows are covered up with a dude giving you, that's how I got in, giving you an IQ test. The IQ test had the ESP cards in it along with a lot of other weird shit. And then what would happen is, because generally like smart people sometimes are kids who meet these things are underperforming, your parents are fucking delighted. So you hear from school, they're like, actually, your kid isn't a complete fucking idiot. As it turns out, he's got a very high verbal IQ, and we think we should put him in this special program. And so,
train him to be a Fed.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not asking like, wait, what is the program? Well, who came up with the idea for the program? You're just like, my kid's smart. Yes, put him in there.
They care about kids, Duncan.
Yes.
They just want to get those smarter kids.
Yeah.
We're going to put a lot of funding to making them smarter and smarter. And we're going to set up careers for them.
Yeah, right.
In Nicaragua.
And they'll never know. They'll just think like when we came up to them in the college they got a scholarship for that we provided, and we're like, hey, we love your dissertation.
Yeah.
Can we talk to you about this really cool job? You'll never know you've been groomed your whole life to be in it. Again, probably not true, but an interesting like new conspiracy that I like a lot. It's really interesting. I hope people out there research it for me because I'm too lazy.
That's what drives me nuts about censorship online, is that the really dumb ones that are obviously not real, I think are also amazing.
Yes.
I think they're fun. There's some people that are just out of their fucking minds. And then there's things that come up sometimes where you're like, wait a minute, how did that slip by mainstream news? Like, why is this not a subject that everybody's kind of tweaking about?
Right.
Every now and then, like the hollow earth one, I was like, that is so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. But it's still ridiculous. It's still ridiculous. But then they discovered there's 3 times as much water inside the earth than there is in the oceans.
I got so excited about that one until I looked into it.
What is it?
Apparently the water's like compressed sadly into the soil. In other words,
No. I'm going to do an episode on this with my wife, okay? They're trying to debunk Hollow Earth. And if you know anything about me, my favorite theory is the Hollow Earth theory. It's my favorite. I love it. Whole world underneath us, trees, light, plants, animals, people, species of all kind. No. You're not taking that one away from me. Me and my wife already did one of these episodes, but we're going to debunk this debunking that Duncan here is trying to do. Now, let's get back to the thing at hand, the Gifted and Talented program. When you look into the Gifted and Talented program, when you look into GATE, which is Gifted and Talented Education, when you look into that, you can't find anything on it because so many schools have Gifted and Talented programs, which feeds even more into the whole theory. Now, why is this a really special theory to me? Okay, this is why. My wife was in one of those programs. Oh, shit. I gotta watch her close. Guys. She was in one of those programs, right? Very smart. I've always said, she's too smart to be with me. Why does this lady like me so much? I don't know. She's going to see this episode and be like, why would you do this? But it's just so funny. It's so funny to think about. What it really makes you think about, and again, I'll go back to how this intersects with Laurel Canyon, is because these people who became rock stars in the mid-'60s and '70s, who went on to reshape the anti-war movement and what it looked like. Maybe they had no idea. You know, like the ultimate, you know, the most negative way you could look at it is, oh, they knew, they were plants and they planned this. Maybe they had no idea. Maybe these people who were in the military, their parents, just kind of signed them up for this program. They didn't really realize, and they got groomed to become rock stars. You'd think, well, maybe their parents were so strict that what ended up happening is they went the complete opposite direction of how their parents were, and that's what it led to. Maybe, you know, maybe. But like what Duncan's talking about is these people have no idea. They do a couple of tests when they're really young, and they just have no clue whatsoever that they're being groomed for such a position. It really makes you think. Makes you think about like the conversation of like free will and, you know, things that are just going to happen to you, fate, or maybe it's called determinism or something like that. But like me, I've talked about this with my wife. Picture Joe Rogan here. I've watched a lot of content. I've watched a lot of interviews. I've watched a lot of his podcast, every episode. And now I do this. It's like how much of it is just me doing what I do and just natural evolution of a person, and how much of it is like groomed behind the scenes by people who maybe I'm close to, maybe I'm not. I don't know. This is a weird thing for my wife to support, but she fully supports me. And somehow I'm mildly successful at it. It's weird. Who knows? It's really interesting. You know, you sit back and like people always, Alex Jones is a CIA agent and this and that, and maybe he doesn't even know. Maybe he has no idea. Maybe it's completely, that would be the best thing to have. Someone who thinks what they're doing is completely organic in their own thoughts, so they go at it way harder. I don't know. It's really interesting to think about. Like, perfect example. I'd love to pull this up. Oh, my screen went crazy. I'd love to pull this up. So do you guys know, let's see if I can find it again. You know J. Cole? You know J. Cole, the rapper? The black rapper from North Carolina? Do you know him? Do you know that name? Well, he's actually not from North Carolina. He's from Germany. Jermaine Lamar Cole was born January 28th, 1985 at a U.S. Army base in Frankfurt, then in West Germany. His father, African-American soldier, left his mother, a white German postal worker, when Cole was a baby. It's very interesting. Images. If you haven't seen this Cole character before, you look at him and you're like, huh, it's a black guy. It's a black guy. He says he's from North Carolina. Of course you're going to believe that he's from North Carolina. He sounds like it. He looks like it, but he's actually from Germany. And right now, this young man has the ears of the youth. He's known as one of the best rappers. You know, whoever is in hip hop right now has a certain amount of influence over the youth. You know, maybe he I don't know. It's just a weird thing to think about. The guy's from Germany. His father was in the military, the U.S. military, had a baby on the base, and then left the baby. The baby goes to America, goes to North Carolina, grows up, becomes one of the greatest rappers, signs to Jay-Z, and becomes one of the most influential rappers of a generation. I don't know. It's really interesting. Really, really interesting. And there's so many more like that. So many more people who you would think were American, but they're actually not. And they come from military families. It's really, really interesting. Birthplace. I heard the same thing. Oh, come on. Come on now. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me just go over here real quick for you guys. You know Martin Lawrence? You know Martin Lawrence. One of the greatest comedians. This is not a different Martin Lawrence that I'm pulling up here. Early life. 4th of 6 kids. Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence was born April 16th, 1965. Same place. West Germany. His father, John Lawrence, was serving in the U.S. military at the time of his birth. Whew. Me and my wife were going to do an episode on this, but I just wanted to, and you would think you're watching Martin Lawrence. He was part of Def Jam Comedy. I don't know if you know about this, but early in the days of black comedy in general, because he was one of the best, he was known as someone who had a tremendous amount of influence. If you watch his show had a tremendous amount of influence over black culture. He would depict himself as what we would call ratchet or ghetto black women, because he would dress up like them. And he had this whole like shenane attitude that he would use. I think there was a pimp that he used to dress up as. There's a lot of caricatures that if you're looking at a person who's from America, you'd be like, oh, he just knows his culture. I'm not going to get mad at that. But when you learn the guy's from Germany, and yes, born from American parents, or at least one, when you look at that, it's a little different. Guys from Germany, shaping the way black people look at other black people in America. That's very different. It's very different. Born in the same place as well. That's really weird. Ugh. Wow. But it makes you wonder, maybe, and again, who knows about these guys? Maybe they were a part of the program. Maybe when they were young, they were like, let's do a couple tests on your son, and then they sent one out to be a very influential comedian, and they sent another out to be a very influential rapper. Decades apart, the influence remains. Who knows? Just interesting to think about the gifted and talented program. We'll see what happens with my wife. If my wife like becomes like super famous, I'm gonna do an episode on her. I'm gonna be like, what is this? What is all this? But it's an interesting thing to think about, that you could be put into a certain situation and be pushed by unseen forces that are not spiritual or godlike, but man-made, pushing you into a certain situation to do something, whether it's influence people, maybe turn people a different way. I don't know. When I think of my wife, I can think about the good guys, because there was a time where I was so disillusioned and I felt so down on myself that I wanted to be a Freemason. And I remember when I met her, she said the words, she's like, hold off on selling your soul. She's like, don't sell your soul. Just wait. Give it a little time. And I always thought that was really funny when she said it. And I never joined. I made sure to never try to join or anything. But it was something I had in mind for a long time when I was younger. Because I didn't have any religion. I didn't have any brotherhood. I didn't have community. And I was longing for it. And then I met her, and she became all those things for me. She became fellowship. She became my partner. She became my family. And I remember her saying, just hold on before you do that. Very, very interesting. So maybe she is. Maybe there's a good sect of people, and they're like, you got to stop this Coach Colin character from joining up with those people. Stop him quickly. Because she stopped me, and then she pushed me towards a much better path. And even now, she would never support me doing that. She doesn't want me to be a part of any weird group like that. She doesn't want that for her family, for me. So I don't know. Just an interesting train of thought. Like the video. Let me know what you think about it. Me and my wife are definitely going to do an episode about this. We got to talk deeper about this. I'm going to have her do some research. But yeah, like the video. It helps so much. Boost us out of the shadow realm. Boost me out of the shadow realm. Please, please, please. And subscribe if you haven't already. I can see how many of you are not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. There's more of this. There's almost like 1 to 3 videos every day. Who else is doing that? Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. Other than that, I am out. Episode 474. Let's go.